And I made it a point to our guys that this is a great opportunity for us to go into and handle it and go out there and battle and give ourselves a chance to win a game. And I was so fired about the way we played in general. The fight against these guys like that the whole night long and have a chance to tie the game up, and then what would happen next, I don't know. I think we would win. And so there's a lot of in-between things to talk about, but the way that they competed was just what we're hoping for. I mean, it's just what we're looking for. And could we not clip a guy? Could we not hold a guy? Yeah. Can we not pick a guy? Yeah. There's so many things we can get better at, but the fight is in this dog now. Ain't no doubt about it. And so I couldn't wait to tell them how proud I was of the way they competed. And so we all know in this room we're gonna do something, and so it's just a matter of time.
Well, that was Raiders head coach Pete Carroll after yet another frustrating loss by the Raiders, this time 10-7 in a extremely winnable game for the Raiders. In fact, quite honestly, that the Broncos were begging them to win, but the Raiders just didn't have the wherewithal to take it, and a lot of it was self-inflicted wounds. We'll get all into it. First of all, thank you for joining us. Welcome to Vegas Nation First and 10 here at Empower Field.
Empower Field at Mile High.
At Mile High. I'm not Adam
It's
Hill.
midnight.
That's Adam Hill. It is.
It's midnight here in Denver. So
Adam Hill and Vinny Bonsignore with Las Vegas Review-Journal and Vegas Nation. And boy, I'll tell you what, Pete Carroll yesterday on Friday said to win this game, the Raiders are going to have to be clean on special teams. They're going to have to take care of the ball. They're going to have to avoid penalties and just play a really clean, efficient football game. And they did anything but. Again, let's see, a missed field goal, two critical penalties by a couple of young players, Jack Besh and Dante Thornton, that negated big plays or helped lead to a play that ultimately got called back, a touchdown pass to Trey Tucker. There was a drop pass by Dante Thornton, just a myriad of mistakes again, and the Raiders just aren't good enough to beat opponents and themselves, Adam.
Well, here's the thing, though, which is kind of crazy to think about. Like the things that you just mentioned that the Raiders have to do to win, right? Mm-hmm. Play clean on special teams. Okay, they didn't. The Broncos were worse.
Yeah,
they're worse on special teams. Mm-hmm. Don't turn the ball over. Broncos turned the ball over more than the Raiders did.
They did.
Don't make self-inflicted wounds, mistakes, penalties. Yeah, Broncos did all that. Bad play calls. Broncos did that too. Mm-hmm. They found a way to win. It's kind of what they do. They find ways to win, and it's what the Raiders do. They find ways to lose. I mean, I think that's kind of what you saw on the field tonight.
I agree, and everything that you just mentioned that the Broncos did was at a point in the game. I know it was prolonged. I mean, it was kind of like that all night for the Broncos, but in particular in that first half, where they kept giving the Raiders chances to extend the lead to 14-0, or to make it a two-score game. And I think if the Raiders had been able to take advantage, like the touchdown to Trey Tucker would have made it 14-0. There was a long run by Ashton Genty, a 32-yard run to put it at the Broncos 30-yard line, 1st and 10, up 7-0. A chance again to go up 14-0. Nope. Jack Besh gets called for a holding penalty, and now they're backed up to their own 30-yard line. So everything that the Broncos were doing wrong early on gave the Raiders so many chances to take advantage and to put some distance between themselves and the Broncos, but they just kept shooting themselves in the foot. They're just not quite there yet to be able to take advantage like that. When other teams are just basically giving them good fortune. And I can't understand why. And maybe it's just that they're just not good enough.
They're not good.
Yeah.
I think it's plain and simple. They're just not good. Third time this year, the Raiders failed to score double digits in points. That's unacceptable. It's atrocious. I mean, it's terrible. Couldn't move the ball. The defense was fantastic today. Not only statistically forced 2 turnovers, 220 yards of offense for the Broncos. That's incredible work by the Raiders. Short fields that the Broncos kept coming up with, the Raiders defense would stand tall and stop them. So when we say the Raiders just aren't good or weren't good, we're not talking about the defense. The defense was
tonight.
Really good tonight. And the Broncos were awful on offense.
I don't want to take anything away from the defense. They've had 2 bad games coming into this game. They definitely played better than they have been. But after watching Bo Nix tonight up close and personal, and I've been kind of keeping an eye on him from afar, and I keep looking at the record that the Broncos had, 7-2 coming into this game, and I was looking at Bo Nix's performance. I was like, it's not adding up. It's not computing.
No, their defense is very, very good, and their offense really isn't.
It isn't good. So my question to you is, are we like if that's the Kansas City Chiefs, I think we saw what would have happened.
Sure.
When they played the Kansas City Chiefs, a good offense, and if you keep shooting yourselves in the foot against good offenses, you're going to lose in blowouts. This should have been a blowout, facing a good offense. Now, again, I'm going to give credit to the defense because they did play well, and they haven't in the last couple of games. But I can't not see what I also saw.
Yeah,
about
and to be fair, I've said many times about Bo Nix, I don't see it. I don't think he's good. I said it on our pregame live show. If you were watching, I wrote it in the game preview for those that checked out Vegas Nation, which you can get for 3 months for a quarter, by the way. Right. The game preview, I said Bo Nix just isn't good. Yeah. He hasn't been playing good. He's not good. I took a lot of heat. I did a Denver radio show this offseason where they asked me about where I thought the Broncos would finish, and I said third. I just don't think Bo Nix is very good, and I think he kind of plateaued last year. He's played so much football that he was ready to step into the league and run Sean Payton's offense and take advantage of that defense, and he did, and that's fine. But now with a playoff type schedule, it's a little bit more difficult. And look, they're winning games, they're fine, but he just hasn't been good this season. But he was good enough, I guess, with this team today. To find a way to win, which is pretty much what they do every single week. And it's also fair, let's be honest, that they may have been looking forward to the Chiefs, and they've got some time off before that game. But oftentimes when you have a showdown like that on the horizon, you could be looking ahead. I think that's very possible that they were looking ahead. But I do want to give credit to the Raiders defense for doing what they did. Again, all those factors are true. Bo Nix isn't very good. Their offense is very good. They've kind of survived. But the Raiders did what they did defensively today. They haven't been able to really stop anybody. So that's a marked improvement, and I think that was it's something that should be applauded and given credit, no question about it. The offense was awful. Special teams actually good for much of the day, and then some real bad disasters in the second half. But it was the offense, I think, that you can pin it on today. The offense just wasn't good. 7 straight drives without a first down. That is, by the way, an NFL mark this year. That's the most drives without a first down in the NFL this year, and that includes the Raiders game against Kansas City, which is one of the worst performances in NFL history. They went longer in this game without a first down than they did in that game, which is just baffling.
Yeah, you can go back and look at my tweets from the Senior Bowl, in last year's Senior Bowl, not this past season. And I remember being very critical of Bo Nix. I just didn't think he was. Michael Penix was there. I forgot who the other quarterbacks were there at that Senior Bowl. But I was like, I just don't see it, And this was at practice, and he just wasn't throwing it very well. And I know I got a slew of emails, must have been from Oregon fans. Maybe some Auburn fans, I guess, but you're wrong, and I'm like, oh, maybe I am, but I just don't see it with him. But hey, they're winning, so good for them, and good for him, and maybe he'll continue to develop and to continue to grow. But
the advanced metrics say he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league right now. It also says Geno Smith is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, and I think those are both fair.
Yes, they definitely are. And Geno, got banged up today, left for a short period of time. Kenny Pickett came on. Geno came back, but he was obviously, banged up and hurt. But that doesn't explain how poor he played. In fact, he played a little bit better after he was. Some of his numbers went up in a couple of throws that he made late in the game. But prior to that, he hadn't reached 100 yards throwing, and his passer rating was below 50. I didn't check to see what he ended up as. It was
almost the same as Kenny Pickett's, who was 0 for 1 in the game.
There you go. And it's just, you were thinking, okay, he played relatively well, in the second half and in overtime against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Could that be something that he could build on? Given full credit to the Denver Broncos defense, as Adam said, it's one of the best defenses in the league, but I don't necessarily think they played a role in it, no question about it. But I think this was more on Geno than it was on the Broncos defense.
Yeah, and we disagreed at the time last week about how well Geno played.
Right.
I think there was a lot of really good catches that kind of bailed him out of some bad throws. But statistically, yes, he was very good. last week, no question about it. And
Better.
look,
Not very good. He was better than he's been.
Statistically, he was very good.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say that he was better than what he's been.
I think the statistics last week were very impressive. It's just I don't think his performance is that good. And today, some of those catches aren't made. And
maybe that's what I mean. I mean, he didn't. He played better, but he didn't play
right. Today, you just saw back to what we've seen far too often this season out of Geno Smith in the offense, and it didn't help. Look, you can point out things that happened. There aren't excuses. Whatever. They lost 2 starting guards. They already were down a starting left tackle. They lost their 2 starting guards. They had to go without Kappa and Will Putnam. Will Putnam, who had only played 5 snaps in his entire career on offense. Again, it's not an excuse. It's just saying those things did happen and don't help the offense. I don't think they would have been significantly better if they hadn't been hurt, but those things did happen in the game. It's tough to watch. Let's just say that right now. For fans that are out there watching the games, good luck to you. It's rough. I mean, we're here at the games. It's not easy to sit and watch some of these games, and that's both. I mean, the Broncos were bad too tonight.
Yeah, so. and what makes it doubly frustrating for the Raiders and their fans is this.
I just want to, before you say that, I want to say this because you said frustrating again, which made me think of. I talked to Brock Bowers. I think my recording was 1 minute and 15 seconds with Brock Bowers. I think he said frustrating 5 times.
Yeah, well,
and that's not a critique of him. Like that is what it was. It was frustrating.
Yeah, because and I'll say this: as bad as they played. Offensively, which they did, what was really frustrating was when they would break off a good play, then the good play gets negated because of Jack Besh gets called for a holding call on a 32-yard run by Ashton Genty. Dante Thornton gets called for a pick play. It was pass or offensive pass interference. Basically, he picks a guy, and there's no question that. That play wouldn't have happened as it did happen had he not picked that guy. Right. That guy was going to be covering Trey Tucker. However, and talking to some people in the locker room, that's a play that if you could pull that off if you know how to do it.
Yeah.
You do it discreetly enough to not draw attention or to do it.
But I think there was legally. 7 officials on the field. I think there was 12 flags.
Yeah,
somehow.
exactly.
I don't even know how that's possible, but
every
single official on the field threw a flag.
And he made it because he made it so obvious.
Yeah. And then also, I mean, this is just diving deep in the woods. Like it looked like Denver also just stopped because they were like, okay, there's offensive pass interference. Like, clearly, that's what happened there. Like, it's the only reason. So I think what I'm getting at is we talked about this during the game too. That like you can't say the penalty took away a touchdown. They would not have scored the touchdown without committing the penalty. Yeah. But again, it's just one more mistake that adds to the collection.
And then they free up Dante on a throw that they've been trying to get to him for the longest. He runs a really good route. There was no question that he ran a nice route. Geno throws a good enough ball. It wasn't perfect, but it was good enough. And it's at the end of the first half. Would have put them in field goal position to tie or to take a lead 10-7. Dante Thornton drops the pass.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of a theme of, like, he was open, actually kind of wide open. He was 3 steps clear. You want to throw in Geno's probably thinking the outside shoulder because the defender's there, but if the defender was burned, he could have easily thrown inside shoulder, making an easier catch. Those outside shoulder, absolutely Dante Thornton has to catch it.
Yeah.
But if it's inside shoulder, I think he probably does and scores, but he still has to catch on the outside shoulder. And then the Ashton Genty play, which becomes an interception, it's behind him. A receiver probably catches that. A running back, a little bit more of a difficult adjustment. But if it's in front of him, he can catch it and run a long way.
Yeah,
it's on his back shoulder, so it hits his back shoulder where it pops up in the air. So I think you can look at it and be like, hey, Ashton Genty dropped the ball, turned it into an interception. Sure, the ball's placed better. Does he drop it? I don't think so.
No.
But it's everyone, right? I mean, that's just where they are right now, where the throw slightly off, they don't bail him out by making a catch. It turns into an interception. Dante Thornton doesn't bail him out by making a catch, that should have been caught for sure. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't make the catch like that. Magnifies the fact that it could have been in the inside shoulder, and then it would have probably been a touchdown. Like it just they're not picking each other up when they are making mistakes. That's the other part.
Last thing about it, to think. It started off with tremendous complementary football. A.J. Cole pins the Broncos down at their 2-yard line. The defense comes in, forces a 3-and-out. The Broncos punt it, bad punt. The Raiders get set up at the 41-yard line, I think it was, by the of the Broncos, and then they march 41 yards, hand it off to Ashton Genty for a 4-yard run. That's complementary football. That's the defense helping the offense, the special teams helping the defense, and it looked great. and then as quickly as it was there.
They just haven't been able to maintain that for more than
Exactly.
like 3 possessions
the
whole year.
By the way, Daniel Carlson, look, over the last 4 days now, 5 days since Sunday, he misses a critical extra point kick against the Jaguars. That point became so important as the game went on. The Raiders lose that game in overtime, and then tonight with a chance to tie the game, just over 4 minutes left in the game. He's wide right on a 48-yard field goal. You and I have seen him kick 48-yard field goals with his eyes closed, basically. And so I'm not quite sure what's going on, and I don't think Pete Carroll's real happy with it. He has not been shy about saying, hey, Daniel's got to kick better, got to put the ball through the hoop, as he said yesterday, and then today he's got to kick the ball better. That's something that the Raiders have to be aware. The most reliable guy on the team, basically, has been unreliable for them this year.
Yeah, it's got to get fixed. It's an issue, no question. It goes hand in hand with the rest of the special teams, which, again tonight, AJ Cole, fantastic game punting, and then they break down a protection to get one block.
Block punt, I forgot about the block punt, yeah. All right, so that's going to do it from here. Not a good night for the Raiders. They fall now to 2-8, right? 2-8 on the season, which means that I'd have to look where they are in the draft, but I would imagine they moved up in the draft.
2-7.
2-7. Why do I keep thinking?
Yes. Let's just be honest. It's probably going to be.
It's going to be. The Dallas Cowboys are up next at Allegiant Stadium. We'll see whether they're going to be 3-7 or 2-8 out. Maybe that was inadvertently speaking that into existence. Anyway, thank you for keeping up with us on a late night here in Denver. We truly appreciate it. We truly appreciate the support from the Las Vegas Review-Journal and Station
Friday
Casinos.
morning here.
Yeah. Friday morning
here
in Denver. Where would you rather be? I'm Vinny Bonsignore. This is Adam Hill. Thank you so much. We'll be back at it probably on Monday because we have a special practice on Monday, right?
We do. Monday. I don't even know what day it is today. I guess it's a Friday morning.
It is Friday.
So Monday, yes, we'll be back in Vegas and we'll be able to do that.
All right. So the Raiders got a little bit of extended break until the Dallas Cowboys next Monday night, but they are going to be back at work on Monday. We'll check you guys out then.